So to kind of get everybody started, I wanted to give you all a pointer or two about the Arts in Parks project. So we've got here this spreadsheet that you can open up and download here. And they've got a bunch of questions there, so you have to say what the variables are, say if they're quantitative, which means they're numeric, say if they're qualitative, which means there's some sort of category. And then they ask you to make a frequency distribution. So I was going to kind of walk you all through how you can quickly and easily do that. So here's the data set itself. And this is a pretty massive data set. It's 195 rows, so it's pretty big. So here's what we're going to do. Pretty much for all the stuff that you're going to want to do, the first step is going to be this. You're going to want to go to Insert. You're going to want to choose the option Table. Let's see. Would help if I put my cursor in the right place. So let's go over here to where the actual data is. Let's try this again. So we're going to do Insert, and then we're going to do Table. If you've got your cursor somewhere in the actual data set, it will cleverly figure out for you or make an educated guess of where it thinks the data is. You can also, of course, click and drag to highlight all the data stuff. So we're going to go and then make sure the box My Table Has Headers is selected, because we do have header names for each of the different columns here. So we will hit OK. And what this does for you, this does something very nice, which is it creates these little drop-down menus. So like you can do uncheck this box, and like you can do something like we could do Lincoln Park, Abraham Lincoln Park. You can click that box right there. And what it'll do is it'll filter and show us only the works of art that are in the Abraham Lincoln Park. It's telling me down here there are 53 out of 194. So you could also like click and drag, and it'll also tell you how many things it is filtered here. So it's telling me the count is 53 down here. But anyway, you can use this, and you can very easily use these filter buttons to filter it in different ways. And like there's one question where they want Northerly Island, I think. So like you can go down here. There's Northerly Island. You check that box, and that'll give you the 7 pieces of art that are in there, and it tells you the artist, who owns the artwork, and all this stuff. Now, the other thing that I wanted to do or show you about this, you're going to find a frequency distributions for the artists in this data set, and they say do this in a new spreadsheet. So what we're going to do in our spreadsheet here, we're going to hit this plus sign, and we're going to make a new spreadsheet here. For the original data set, I'm just going to click and drag and get all the artists, because for this part of it, the artist is the only part that we care about. If you do Control C, or on a Mac, it's Command C, you can copy. If you do Control and then V, you can copy and paste and put all this stuff over in the new sheet. And then let's go ahead and zoom in. All right, so we've got this list of artists. So then here's what we're going to do, because one of the things they ask you to do is they want you to make a frequency distribution. So here's the most efficient way you can do that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to Insert. And our goal is we want to create something called a pivot table. So instead of inserting just a table, we're going to do a pivot table right here. We're going to click on that. It will highlight the stuff that it finds. And it says, where do you want the pivot table to go? I'll just put it in a new worksheet and hit OK. So what we're going to do, and actually, hang on. It is, let's delete that. It is erroneously assuming that Moises Ezekiel is the header, which is not correct. We need to put a header, which is actually artist. All right, let's do this now. All right, we're going to do insert, pivot table, in a new worksheet. There we go. Now it's actually doing it by artist. So here's what we can do. We can click artist. And then you see there, it's got a list of all the artists, every last one of them. So then what we can do is if you click this and drag this and put it over to values, it's going to do a count for you of every single last one of these. So like William Ordway Partridge, he did 2 pieces of art in the Chicago park system. And like John Kearney did 4 of them. A whole bunch of these people did 1 and 1 only. There's one with 6, which is CPAG, whatever that is. And then there's also 13 of them that are blank, and we have no information about who the artist actually is. But there you go. So that is how you can make a frequency distribution. So then what you can do is you also want to find the relative frequency. So how you could do that is you could say, let's zoom in here. So what you can do, there are 194 pieces of art total. So what you can do is you can do equals, click this right here, and then do divide by 194. And then when you do that, it gives you the decimal version. And then if you click and drag with this kind of black plus sign thing, you know, that's not what I was hoping for. Let's take out these dollar signs, and that way it won't lock in. The dollar signs lock in a specific cell. So then if we do this now, it's still, okay. I did this earlier and I didn't get it to work. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. So we're going to get this, and actually, all right. Basically, your goal. Okay. I remember what I did. We copied all these and got them out of the pivot table. That's what we did. So you can copy these and get them out of the pivot table, and then you can actually manipulate them. And then you can do equals this, divided by 194. And now you can click and drag, and there you go. Now it's actually giving you there's the frequency and there's the relative frequency. So that's how to do it. You use the pivot table to quickly count the things that you want, and then you want to just copy those numbers and move them out of the pivot table so that you can actually manipulate them. And there you go. So hopefully that's enough to get you all started for the kinds of stuff that you'll need to do for this project.